Think about the last time you sat down in a classic diner or pulled up to a fast food window. You know exactly what to expect. A French fry with a perfectly shattering crunch and a velvety, molten cheese sauce that flawlessly coats everything it touches. Then you try to recreate that exact experience in your own kitchen. You buy the right russet potatoes, you shred the sharp cheddar, and follow the recipe exactly. The results are usually disappointing. The fries emerge limp and soaked in oil, bending under their own weight. Meanwhile, your cheese sauce separates into a gritty, greasy puddle, floating over tough little clumps. It's tempting to assume you just bought the wrong frying oil or missed a secret step. But commercial kitchens don't rely on magic or grandmotherly secrets to get consistent results. They rely on applied chemistry. To close that gap between homemade disappointment and commercial perfection, we have to stop treating potatoes and cheese as simple ingredients. We need to look at them as molecular structures that we can manipulate. Let's start with the French fry. The structural goal here is a study in contrasts. You want a crispy, rigid exterior shell that protects a hot, airy, and fluffy interior. This document shows the exact science of balancing pectin, starch, and sugars for a perfect fry. Achieving that ideal crust requires all three of these cellular elements to interact in perfect harmony during the cooking process. The primary point of failure happens early on. Potatoes are held together by pectin, a form of sugar that acts as a natural cellular glue. When you drop raw potatoes into boiling water to pre-cook them, that pectin breaks down rapidly, causing the fry to disintegrate. To stop this structural collapse, we need a chemical intervention. Instead of plain boiling water, we parboil the cut potatoes in water spiked with a splash of white vinegar. Here is what happens at the microscopic level. The potato cells are held together by pectin bonds. By introducing vinegar, we lower the pH. This acidic environment causes the pectin to firm up instead of breaking down, locking those cell walls rigidly in place. Because that exterior wall is now fortified, the surface of the fry blisters into thousands of microscopic bubbles when it hits the hot oil. That blistered surface maximizes the physical area exposed to the heat, giving you that ultimate crunch. With the crust secured, we have to fix the inside. The next intervention happens in the freezer. Freezing the parboiled fries converts all their internal moisture into solid ice. Those ice crystals form sharp, jagged shapes that physically rupture the internal potato cells. When the fries finally hit the hot oil, that moisture easily converts to steam and escapes, leaving behind a distinctly fluffy interior. The final mechanical step is the double fry. First, a low-temperature fry cooks the potato all the way through without browning it. After a brief rest, a second high-temperature fry rapidly crisps that chemically reinforced exterior. A perfect fry isn't the product of chance. It is the result of systematically reinforcing the exterior with acid while mechanically destroying the interior with ice. We see a similar need for control when making cheese sauce. The core problem is that applying heat to cheese causes a total structural breakdown. Look at the baseline structure of solid cheese. A stable emulsion of protein, fat, and water molecules tightly packed. But when heated, protein seize up, coagulating and aggressively squeezing out the water and fat. That causes your sauce to break into a grainy, greasy mess. The traditional mechanical fix for this is a roux, a cooked mixture of flour and butter. The starches in the flour physically coat the cheese proteins, preventing them from clumping. But the roux method has an absolutely critical rule. You must turn the heat completely off before introducing the cheese. If the liquid is actively simmering, those proteins will still seize up and ruin the sauce. Modern commercial kitchens bypass this temperature anxiety entirely by using a chemical salt called sodium citrate. Sodium citrate acts as a highly effective emulsifier and stabilizer. It actively binds the fat and water together, so the proteins simply cannot coagulate, no matter how high the heat gets. By adding a measured amount of this chemical emulsifier, you remove the guesswork and eliminate the risk of a broken emulsion. You engineer a perfectly stable, permanently smooth sauce every single time. Words like sodium citrate or pectin bonds often sound intimidating or artificial to a home cook. But these aren't dangerous additives or chemical bogeymen. They are fundamental kitchen tools. Just like a sharp knife, An acid, or a chemical salt, provides you with a way to exert physical control over matter. Understanding these molecular reactions shifts your role in the kitchen. You stop being someone who blindly follows recipes, hoping for the best, and you become someone who dictates exact textural outcomes. When we embrace the underlying chemistry of our ingredients, the gap between home cooking and commercial food disappears. We possess the power to engineer perfection, exactly the way we want it, whenever we want it.